Hey YouTube, Seth here. Hope you guys are well. Sorry I missed you last week, but here I am. As always guys, please like or dislike my videos. Let me know if you liked it or didn't like it. It helps me with future videos. Also, if you think this video or any of the ones on my channel will be helpful for people going through transition or good information for people to know, please share. I really appreciate the support. This is how you can really help me to grow my channel. So without further ado guys, I'm going to talk about my experience on testosterone. It's almost been 10 years for me. My 10-year anniversary will actually be in April of next year. But I thought this would be a really good topic to touch on because I haven't really talked about that yet. I've only been really talking about surgeries on my channel. So for a lot of you who are thinking about going on hormones, this is the video to watch. Alright, so I started testosterone in April of 2011, I believe. It might have been 2010, so I might actually be 10 years on testosterone. That's why I'm making this video, because I really don't know. I'm terrible with dates. So I have consistently been on 100 milligrams per week. I did experiment with higher levels around bodybuilding contests, as well as cycling different stuff. If you want to learn more about that, check out my video all about bodybuilding and steroids. I'm not going to touch on that, but that was around 4 to 5 months. For the most part, I've been on the same consistent dosage. I've also experimented with 80 milligrams a week to see what a lower level would feel like after I had my hysterectomy. And I did notice a slight less amount of energy. So I went back up to 100 milligrams per week. So 100 milligrams per week is a pretty good dose, guys. I would say it's on the higher end of what most doctors will prescribe to you. It's on the higher end of what a male could make naturally. So the average male will only make closer to 70 to 80 milligrams per week. Naturally, they would probably not make 100 milligrams of testosterone in comparison, unless they are outside of the norm. So it happens, but it's outside of the norm. Most doctors are going to prescribe you anywhere from 50 to 100 milligrams per week. Some doctors will prescribe like 200 milligrams every 2 weeks. It just depends. I've also tried that. So what I found is that a weekly dosage is definitely best to keep your blood levels stable so that you don't have like crazy mood swings. When I was taking 200 milligrams, one shot every 2 weeks, I definitely would become frustrated more quickly. And I definitely noticed like there would be a peak where I'd be like really energized and like in good spirits and stuff. And then as it would go down, I'd become more frustrated, agitated, tired. So to keep your levels more stable, because we're injecting this hormone into our bodies, I think it's best to do weekly shots. When I did dabble with steroids, I was doing several shots a week to keep things very balanced. So that is my recommendation to you guys. If your doctor prescribes you to do a shot bi-weekly, I wouldn't recommend that, at least for testosterone, NN-thate, or cypionate. There are other esters that are like longer lasting that I've not experimented with, therefore I'm not going to touch on them. But for most people, they're going to get testosterone NN-thate or testosterone cypionate in North America. And yeah, stick with the weekly dosage of whatever you get. So obviously there's been changes, guys. My voice dropped dramatically. Actually for me, it happened within the first like 2 weeks. It literally went from, I don't even know. I had a fairly deep raspy voice before, but it went from where it was at to where it's at now within 2 weeks time. And I've noticed for most people, it takes like 6 months to a year. For me, it was just like boom, boom. But it affected my singing voice, which was really devastating for me. There's like still a range that I can't hit, and I have a lot of difficulty relearning how to sing at this point. As some of you may know who have been following my Instagram, I'm kind of dabbling with guitar and singing again. But yeah, it's been it's been a struggle since I started taking testosterone. And if any of you are singers, I would definitely recommend talking to your doctor about that and working with like a lower dose to start, like 50 milligrams a week to start, and like slowly ramping it up so you get used to your voice, and you take a lot of singing lessons at that time too, to really help to develop your new voice, because essentially it is a new voice, guys. Anyway, so next thing I noticed was more energy, higher sex drive. That's been very consistent for me. I got really, really bad acne. I had a little bit of acne in high school before I started testosterone. Mostly just on my face and a little bit on my back, but it got so bad that I would say it was almost like cystic acne. I had it all over my face and on my back and shoulders, and it was brutal for about a year, I think, as my body was sort of getting used to the higher testosterone levels. Eventually it went away. I still do get pimples, but it's like few and far between. I really don't have that much acne anymore in comparison. I would say it's gone down like 90% to what it used to be. So I'll still get a few pimples on my face sometimes. I'll randomly get like pimples on my arms randomly. Shoulders and back a little bit, but nothing close to what it used to be. And I actually attribute that to my hair growth. I think my skin just got super, super oily, and I was like growing hair once I started testosterone, and it's like all of the acne came first, and then I got really, really hairy. And if you guys can see, like, I'm just full of body hair everywhere. So that's my logic behind it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an esthetician or like a skin specialist, but that would make sense to me. So if you're dealing with really bad acne, or you're scared about really bad acne, in my experience, it did die down, and there are things you can do to combat that, like showering every day is very important, and then washing your face at least once a day in the morning or at night. I would recommend at night if you can. I'm really bad for that. I usually wash my face in the morning, but at night is best. Get like a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer. Natural is better. Don't go with any chemical shit. And I would not recommend Accutane. I never personally took it. I know a few people who took it who had bad experiences. It does help with acne, but it can give you really bad side effects. Not just mental health related, but also like your skin will become really dry and flaky. I would just ride it out. Acne is really not that big of a deal, guys. And I know it's hard when you're dealing with it really bad, but it will go away in time. It's just your body processing stuff, and it's all coming out to the surface. Anyway, so then I started to get really hairy, as I've mentioned. Obviously now I'm like 10 years later, pretty much. I'm very hairy, and the hair is still coming in like crazy. That is all genetic, guys. I mentioned that in my how to grow a big beard video. There's not a whole lot you can do to influence the amount of body hair you will grow. If you're about to start testosterone, look to your family members. If a lot of the men in your family are hairy, then there's a really good chance that you will take after them. If they're not, there's a really good chance you'll take after them. It's just how it is. I noticed pretty much within the first month that my clit grew. It went from small, I don't know, like average size, I guess, to about like the size of half my thumb in girth and length, and I was able to achieve like natural erections. It was pretty cool. I had foreskin. I did really like it, but I still suffered crazy dysphoria, and that's why I chose to get bottom surgery. I wanted the vagina part gone, and that part I was okay with, but it was so tiny that honestly it just like gave me more dysphoria in a way. So I had phalloplasty to deal with that, and I'm much happier now. And for those of you who have asked, I did not leave the clit exposed like some people do. That was just my personal preference. I just wanted everything to look aesthetically as male as possible, because that's how I feel most comfortable with my body. So, yeah. Testosterone changes though. You know, your body odor will change. I'm not really sure what it used to be honest, but it became more musky over time. My girlfriend tells me she loves my body odor. Now, I have had higher blood pressure in the past. Right now it's at a good level, and I'm gonna attribute that to two things. The first thing is, which I've already talked about, I experimented with steroids, which will affect your blood pressure, guys. The next thing is that I ate a lot of dairy and meat products, which again will affect your blood pressure. The cholesterol is just not good. So now it's like very healthy, but I was dealing with that before. So it's not testosterone, as long as you're taking a dose that's pretty equal to like a physiological amount that a male would make, you should be fine if your diet's in check. But if you start taking more than that, like I was, and you're eating like a lot of meats and dairy products, then you're setting yourself up for issues there. So I would not recommend doing that. Take care of yourself, guys. And if you do dabble with steroids, which again, you know, I don't have any judgment towards, I would just say make sure that you monitor yourself. Make sure you get regular blood work, and that even if your blood pressure is high, everything is functioning properly, because you don't want to deal with any heart issues or anything like that down the line. Trying to think of other things. My feet got a little bit wider, my hands got wider. They're definitely a lot more thick than they used to be. My eyebrows and my head hair got darker. I don't know if that was because of testosterone or if it would have just happened over time. Trying to think. And then in terms of like the way I process things, that changed. I found that prior to taking testosterone, I was maybe more capable of experiencing like a lot of different emotions at once, whereas now I experience like one emotion at a time. So in a way, I'm more simple-minded, not in a bad way, it's just very different. I don't feel so overwhelmed by emotion now that I'm taking testosterone. And over the past 10 years, that's a better way to put it. Yeah. I think that's all the major changes that I've noticed, guys. If you have any questions and you want me to expand on anything, please let me know, comment down below. I also want to know what your experience has been like on testosterone. So again, please comment down below. Let me know all about those good changes, bad changes, you know, all the things. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I will be seeing you next week. I hope everybody is well, stay safe, and I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.